Hi, fellow educators. My name is Scott Ray, and today I'm going to show you how you can use Google Forms to fill out a rubric to grade your students' projects in real time. The first thing you're going to do is log into your Google Drive. And we're going to use Google Forms, so you need to create a new one. So click New, go down to More, Google Forms. This will bring up a brand new Google form, not even named or anything. And whenever you create a new one, there's always a default question. It's untitled, just so that you can get started. I like to start at the top with my Google Forms, just so I don't forget to name it. It makes it really hard to find it later. So let's say that I'm using this to grade a student's speech. So speech grade. You can name it whatever you need to keep track of it. Your first question that you're going to use is to determine which student that you're entering the grade for. So I'm going to put student. Instead of multiple choice, we're going to use a drop-down box. Then for each of these options, you are going to enter student names. I'm not going to enter each one here manually. So this is a sheet with all my student names already on it. I'm just going to copy and paste them in. And get rid of these extra options that are blank. There we go. So now I have all 22 students from one of my classes that we're doing this grade for entered in. And that's all I want on this first page, because typically I am doing this on my phone, not creating the form, but actually grading the students on my phone. So having too much stuff on one page is a little bit overwhelming, and I have to scroll too much with my thumb. So we're going to create a new section to actually enter the rubric. So I created a new section. You can do that by clicking this little button right here. You have your creation menu on the right, and this big bold equal sign is how you create a new section. This is where we're going to actually score. So the first thing I'm going to do is name the section. It's going to be score. And then I'm going to enter the rubric. Rubrics are typically on a grid system, and Google Forms allows you to create grids as well that you can fill out. So change it from a multiple choice question to a multiple choice grid. Now, it doesn't line up exactly how it would be when you're looking at it, because you have to set it up first. What I mean by that is that all it has is rows on the left and columns on the right. This isn't actually how it'll appear. You just need to think that rows are all the data that will be in the first column, and then the columns, whatever you enter here, is going to be the title or the options for each row. So the rubric that I'm going to use is actually from my school district. It has 8 different criteria. I'm going to copy and paste those in. So all the criteria on which you'll grade a student will be entered into the rows. I have all 8 of my criteria entered. These are all of the 8 different things on which students will be graded in my class when they're giving their speech. In the columns, we're going to enter the scale on which they'll be graded. So we're going to do this by half points, just because the math works out really well with 8 different criteria on which they're graded. So column 1 is going to be half a point, column 2, 1 point, column 3, 1.5 points, and column 4, 2 points. Just to show you what this looks like, let's preview. So here's the first page. I'll choose a student, click Next. This is what it looks like. You can see, just like I mentioned, all the criteria in which I'm graded was entered in the rows column. And now the number of points they can earn were in the columns column. So you can enter their grade now. It's really nice because you can do it really quick. You don't have to circle anything. You don't have to have an individual paper for each student, and then you can submit. Now, once you've submitted the data, you can submit another response, which makes it so that it's really easy to reset. You don't need to keep track of all the papers. It's really nice and easy that way. I don't like to analyze the data in Google Forms native screen. It takes too long, and it doesn't really allow me to enter grades the way I want to. So in this responses column, back on the Google Form creation page, there's a little green icon here, and this is for Google Sheets. You're going to click on that to create a new spreadsheet. Just you choose the default. It recreates the name of your Google form and then adds responses. So I create it, and now I have all of the data that I need to be able to keep track of my students and what they score. So I hope this was informative for you, and thanks for listening.